Here we are, the day after the Philadelphia Eagles beat the New York Giants 22-21 in a comeback effort. I mean, a win is a win, and I was hyped last night under the circumstances. But we're going to talk about this game in its totality, but let's get a little reminiscence of how hyped I was last night, because again, it was a must-win, and a W is a W. Here we go. 2nd and 12. Get a pick. End the game early. Hikes the ball. He's looking. Oh, here comes. Fumble. Eagles ball. Game over. We in the building. I love you guys. Shout out to DT. What a dime. What a day. What a merry-go-way. I don't care. We live in the moment. I'm all about that. Let's go. 22-21 Eagles. Yo, what is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you are new to this channel and love talking Philly sports, hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when I go live or drop some content instantly. On that note, if you were on the edge of your seats in this game and were just happy to come out with a victory last night, but then started thinking, like, come on, is this team going to constantly be this inconsistent? Smash that like button. With all that being said, let's jump into the day after Friday reaction. Let me start by just saying, listen, a win is a win. Months down the line, when we hit December and we're trying to make a push for the playoffs possibly, we're not going to go back and look at this game like, yeah, we beat the Giants by 1 point because of an Evan Ingram drop. We're not going to be talking about that. A win is a win, especially when you come back in the effort we did. But again, should we have really been down at that point? I mean, we did a lot of despicable things in this game. We did some good things, mainly at the end. Carson Wentz got going. Let's talk about Carson Wentz to start this off. He was 25 of 43 for 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a rushing touchdown. But let's dive in deeper. In the fourth quarter, where Carson really turned it on, he was 5 of 7 for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's where all the passing touchdowns came. That's where the whole offense was. The end of the game and the beginning of the game. I mean, the Eagles pretty much played the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of this game and were able to sneak out a victory. That is not good, and that is because we were playing the New York Giants. But the Philadelphia Eagles continue to be inconsistent. And listen, Carson Wentz late game heroics once again. We saw it against the Steelers. We saw it against the Ravens. We saw it against the Giants. The difference is this team is not the Ravens and the Steelers, and we were able to overcome it. And I'm not taking anything away from Carson Wentz's heroics at the end, but I really do got to question a couple throws he made just from the standpoint of why. Now, I'm not the guy to criticize him for taking a sack that much, because at the end of the day, we're not crying when he breaks a tackle that could have been a sack and throws the ball down the field for 30 yards. We're not saying, well, he should have threw the ball away then, minus that 30-yard gain. No, we're only talking bad about it when he gets sacked. So you got to take the bad with the good in that aspect. But what I will say, I don't understand a couple of the decisions that Carson Wentz made in this game early in the ball game. Let's go with the first one. To throw across your body to Travis Fulgham. That could have been a disaster. You learn at a young age not to throw the ball across your body. Now, Wentz did that last year against the Giants to Josh Perkins, and it worked out. But you can't do that all the time. That could have been a disaster. And with your track record this year, having double-digit picks, you got to settle down on them throws. I understand hero ball, but that's just over the top. That's a mental mistake that young quarterbacks make, and I don't understand why he's making that, because he didn't make it in 17. And you're like, well, forget 17. He didn't make it in 18. He didn't make it in 19. He's making bad throws. I'm not talking accuracy because he's always been up and down, but he's one of the guys who make throws that nobody else can do. Hence the Boston Scott throw. Hence a couple to Travis Fulgham. They were dimes. But back to that across the body throw, you just can't make that decision. You can't make that decision because you put your football team in harmful positions. Now, the biggest was the throw to John Hightower. I mean, the play was broken down. You avoided a sack. You escaped the sack. Go ahead and throw it away. Throw it away. If something is developing down the field, I understand. But what did you see on that play? What were you trying to do? Did you think that he was going to just jump up and catch it on 3 guys? That was a horrible decision. And these are decisions that you got to make in the fly. You're in year 5. That's my biggest thing. I'm not talking year 5 bench Carson Wentz because of this, but I don't understand a guy who's never done this in the past. Why is he doing it now? Again, he misses high, misses low. He's a playmaker. He's not the most accurate quarterback. But this is not to do with his accuracy. This is to do with decision making. He got to be better than that. Now, like I said, heroic effort late in the game and ultimately got us a W. 12 points in 5 minutes. I mean, shout out to Carson Wentz in this offense. The 2-minute offense works great under Carson Wentz. Now, we did hear that the 2 minutes offense is Richie Rich. Was it him or was it Doug? The up-tempo, all that stuff works. Using the sidelines, getting all the receivers involved. I mean, Carson Wentz got 8 pass catchers involved. He threw the ball to 8 different pass catchers. Half of them being practice squad players. Now, look. He's going to make some bad throws with accuracy, but I need him to make better decisions in this football game. This game was our best game when it came to offense. When it came to moving the ball up and down the field constantly, this was our best game. But we could not finish. So that's what I want to move on to is Doug Peterson and this offense. Again, times in this game as we're moving the ball down the field, Doug is cooking it up. Calling it up. I love the play calling at times. Bang, bang, bang. But here comes the situational football. Here it comes. Doug Peterson continues to put situational football to the side. The 20 and 20 were pretty good. We get into the red zone and the play calling just shrinks. It shrinks. The Philadelphia Eagles were 3 of 8 in the red zone. Now I will say this. One of them is counted because we got the strip sack from Daniel Jones and we need the clock out. So really, people keep saying we are 3 and 8. We're not 3 and 8. We were 3 of 7. But that's still not good enough. Carson Wentz is one of the best quarterbacks in the red zone. Our offense used to be one of the best offenses in the red zone. The problem was why we couldn't score in 18 and 19 is we didn't get to the red zone often. We didn't get there. But when we did, we scored. We can't score now. I mean, he's running these power O runs with the quarterback. He continues to have Carson Wentz read option. And on 4th and 3, kick the field goal. And if you do want to be fearless, Doug, why would you call a fade route to a guy who only got 1 snap in the game? And it was that fade route. Now, granted, there was some touchy going on in there. I thought the ref could have called a pass interference, especially after seeing the Crevion LeBlanc pass interference that they called and gave them 1st and goal at the 1. But I'm not going to blame the refs. The play calling has been atrocious in the red zone. Atrocious. Look. The combination of Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz got to be better or this offense is going to continue to struggle. But let's get to some other things of why this team could not blow out the Giants. I mean, 359 yards passing, 7 times in the red zone. You got to connect. That's the biggest thing. Red zone, turnovers. That's why we didn't blow this team out. But let's go a little deeper. The offensive line. I don't see it getting fixed anytime soon. I mean, how? Where? Lane Johnson ain't really day to day. He's more play to play. He's in, he's out. He's in, he's out. Should we just let this guy rest until he gets better? I mean, I don't know. This team is the most consistently inconsistent team in the NFL in 3 areas, and that is health, play calling, and protecting the ball. I mean, we can't stay healthy. We can't call plays in certain situations. and we cannot protect the ball. Turnovers are costing us games. Now, like I said, we got this W, so I'm not going to dump on the team all in all, but we got to be better. We got to be more consistent, and that's why I'm going to learn a lot from this team in the next couple weeks. The Cowboys, I'm going to learn a lot in that game. The bye week, I'm going to learn a lot. Can these guys get back healthy? The Giants game, round 2, I want to beat them in a better fashion. And lastly, after beating the Cowboys or seeing what we got against the Cowboys, after seeing how the health comes to the Eagles in the bye week, after seeing how we face against the Giants the second time around at MetLife, we're going to get a team that is a B-plus team in the Cleveland Browns, and I want to see how the Eagles fare against a C-plus, B-plus team. So these couple weeks are going to show me a lot about this team. I will never question this team's fight. I will never question Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz, the offense, the defense. I will never question their fight. But I'm questioning the play call and the execution at times. Drop balls, miss assignments, turnovers, bad play calling. I mean, you name it, we do it in a very inconsistent level. Great play from all of them. Bad play from all of them. We got to be more consistent. That is what wins football games. But let's get to a couple heroes. One, Boston Scott, the guy I predicted in the pregame. Remember, on our pregames on the Battlebird podcast, we predict a offensive player that got to step up, and I picked Boston Scott, the giant killer, and he did just that. I mean, he ran the ball fairly well. I think he had 12 carries for like 46, 50 some yards, had a couple catches for like 20, 30 yards. So he had a combined possible 70, 80 yards. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section if you know. But he caught the dagger from Carson Wentz, the dagger. And oh, by the way, we kept shooting ourselves in the foot when we were at the 3-yard line and we got that crazy face mask call. Shout out to Jason Kelsey for being the only starter left, but you can't do that. When we got that and had to go back to the 18-yard line because it was a 15-yard penalty, I said, well, here the Eagles go. Shout out to the offensive line finally blocking, allowing Carson to not have to throw off his back foot, which he did all game. He was able to step up in the pocket and throw a strike to our guy Boston Scott. And shout out to Boston Scott, 5'6", catching that ball. I mean, 5'6", catching that ball over Peppers. Shout out to him. Let's talk about Deshaun Jackson a little bit. My gosh. First game back. Comes back with the electricness that we want from D-Jack. You know, these stop and goes. They're so scared of his speed. They play so far back. Boom, 10 yards. Boom, 5 yards. Boom, 10 yards. They even put him in a wide receiver reverse that he got a first down on. Let's go. Now, he did cool down in the second and the third where the offense got stagnant because we only play in the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. But I understand the mindset of Doug Peterson. We needed this win more than ever. We could not get no field position from Greg Ward. Shout out to Greg Ward for the touchdown, and I love him, but he's not a good punt returner. So we decide, you know what? Miracle in the Meadowlands round 2 maybe. Let's get D-Jax there. Maybe he scores a touchdown. Maybe he sparks something, and we can't play scared in the NFL. But you got to make a business decision. This guy's missed all last year. This guy missed all this year. He's back. He's moving. He's not getting out of the game. And you put him in a situation where he could get hurt. Now, granted, the first tackle didn't hurt him. It was the cheap shot. The cheap shot that hurt him. And it was a cheap shot. I don't know. I get the mindset. Got to make something happen. Who's our most electric player? But you got John Hightower. You got Jason Huntley. You got other guys. You have to protect your guy. If you're going to put him on a pitch count at the wide receiver position, why would you risk it? I understand your mindset, but it was just too much. You had to make the business decision there. You had to. And now he's out 4 to 6 weeks, which in regular people's terms, it's 4 to 6 weeks. But for the Eagles and D-Jax, it's the rest of the year. Look, like I said earlier, this team has fight, and let's get to the defensive side of the ball real quick. Shout out to Nathan Gary. You're not going to hear this much from me, but he had a great game. Brandon Graham continues to eat. The whole D-line ate without Malik Jackson. They won us the game. The defensive line won us the game. The defense in general, with the turnovers and the constant 3-and-outs, helped this offense so much. If it wasn't for the defense, this offense would have never been able to get going. But I do got to say a couple things. The Daniel Jones 80-yard run? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now, the Golden Tate touchdown wasn't that bad. You blitz, you had man-to-man coverage, you liked the matchup. Golden Tate is not a contested catch guy. You got Crevion LeBlanc on him. He made a better play. Simple and plain. But besides that, the defense came to play. The D-line got sacks. We got 3-and-outs. We got turnovers. That's all you can ask for. We just need the offense to help the defense out. Now, I will say this, though. We were gifted because Evan Ingram beat our guy who we wanted back so bad. Now he's just getting back, so it is what it is. But he beat Will Parks, and Danny Dimes finally dropped a dime there. He was Danny Fumbles for most of the game and Danny Stumbles for most of the game, but he dropped a dime, and Evan Ingram couldn't stretch out, and he dropped it. That could have sealed the game. So shout out to Evan Ingram for saving us. Look, we got to play for 4 quarters. We can't just play for a couple minutes in ball games, or we're only going to be able to beat the bum Niners when they had everybody out, the Giants, the footballers, the Cowboys, the teams like that. We're not going to be able to even sniff competition against the Packers, the Saints, the Seahawks if we don't play more complete football game. But I do got to give credit where credit's due. The Eagles were backed into a corner, and we got a long list of injuries on the offensive side for receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen. And so guys stepped up. 8 pass catchers caught a ball. I think this team is going to feed off this win. John Hightower is one of the first Eagles in back-to-back games to get 50-plus yards on a reception. He has a 50-yard reception in back-to-back games. The last person to do that, I think it was in 1950. Now, we know D. Jackson, this organization, got multiple 50-yard gains, but back-to-back, no one's ever did that since 1950. John Hightower gets separation. He can get deep. He's a 5th-round rookie from Boise State. He got potential. He got to get his catching up a little bit and get more consistent, but this young core is going to feed off this win. Travis Fulgham, stay being consistent. That's going to help him out. John Hightower, he's going to feed off this. Boston Scott, the offensive line who played not good. We're not going to sugarcoat it. But defenses that play us know what to do. They know what to do. Blitz, blitz, blitz. The Giants were sending 5 and 6 guys almost every single play. When Carson had time, there was a small sample size of him having time. He was on point. Now, when he was blitzed, he kind of struggled. And that was almost all the second and third quarter. He really had time in the first quarter, 5 minutes, and the fourth quarter, 5 minutes. And that's what got us the W. But like I said, I'm not going to dump on this team. We are going to learn a lot in the next couple weeks. We got the W. And we don't play for 10 days. And the next game is against the stinking Cowboys. Love it. Like I said, this 10 days would have been super long off a loss. So we're going to see where the Eagles are at. These next couple weeks, including the bye week, are going to be big. But when I look at this team's future, Travis Fulgham at the X, Jalen Reagor at the Y, Greg Ward Jr. in the slot, John Hightower and Quez Watkins on rotation, Dallas Goedert as a tight end, and then you got Miles Sanders in the backfield with a healthy offensive line. I'm going to love it. And I didn't do somebody justice. I talked about all these guys, the Boston Scotts, the Deshaun Jacksons, the John Hightower catch. I talked about all this. I did not talk about the guy who led our team in receiving yards, and that is Richard Rodgers. This guy was cut from the Washington football team in September. He's been on and off this team. He was cut by the Washington footballers in September. And we go ahead and get him, and we turn him into a presentable target. He had more production in this game than almost Zach Ertz all year. Now, I'm not saying he's better. Zach Ertz is still better, but at the end of the day, Zach Ertz's time in Philly is done. I'm not saying for Richard Rodgers. No, it's for Dallas Goedert. This trade deadline is going to be hard. November 3rd is the deadline. He's still going to be on IR or the injury list. So we're going to have to keep him. He's going to have to help us win the NFC East. And in the offseason, we got to make a business move. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Shout out to the Eagles, 2-4-1 in first place. We could learn a lot from this game. We still got a ways to call ourselves a good football team because right now, we're not playing good football, but we're able to squeeze out wins because of the late game heroics from Carson Wentz and the no-quit mentality this organization has. With all that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section when it comes to this team. Doug Peterson's play calling, Carson Wentz's performance, the offensive line, the young guys in Boston Scott, John Hightower, Richard Rodgers, Deshaun Jackson. There's so much to talk about. I want to know what you guys think on this whole win and what we're going to do in the near future. Until next time, you guys know what time it is. We out.